Welcome to Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News from the Chesapeake studio, home
Looks
studio.
like a kitchen to me.
Well, half and half. I'm in the living room, but the back of it's in the kitchen. So, um, Jack and them are at the Langley Speedway studio. Jack and Erin and Rick.
And Matt,
We got to thank our marketing partners. We got to thank Slinger Speed. You need a shirt, cards. What doesn't he do?
I don't know.
There's nothing.
I haven't gotten with him on what exactly I want him to do for us right now.
I'm gonna leave that alone this time, Jack.
Okay.
Mayhem Management. If you need some social media help, Miss Erin can take care of you for a small fee, right? Small fee, small.
Yeah,
Big
it's a small fee.
I hear Matt is paying in the upwards of $100,000 for her to be on do her.
I need an application then.
I mean, look at here. He's a 2-time champion, so there's still something going on there,
He's got it going on. Hey man, when you're hot, you're hot. I got to thank tonight's food that I'm not getting any of. Jack always picks on me about not getting anything from certain sponsors. Jack's got all the food. I want to thank dinner is provided by Papa John's. Shows presented by Smith Wraps and Graphics. Got to thank those guys for coming on board this year and doing that. And I guess I meant to ask before the show started. So we're still with NC 811 this year, and then next
NC 811 until the turn of the year. When we turn the year, we go to Virginia 811.
All right. So we got to thank NC 811 for being part of the show this year. GAC, a great American company. Garamo.
Amaya.
Damn, I had it. I was like, man, I'm going to get it right this time. Bonner's Brother Distillery. Jack's still been teasing us about bringing some or going to getting some and having some new drink at the show.
I just haven't had a chance to go down there and do that. I need to do that.
Yeah. Pepsi, Mountain Dew. That's a drink of our choice. Did you bring drinks today, Jack?
I've got them in the car. I didn't bring them up here, but I forgot about them. Go ahead. Keep going. We're good.
Langley Speedway. Langley Speedway for allowing us to do the show from the racetrack. We really appreciate those guys for making us giving us a home, really, because we were kind of homeless there for a little while. Well, we had a home, but it was a little rough. Until Rick came in, really, we did have a nice place over down at the oceanfront.
Yeah, that was a good place there too.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of people knew us there. And like, yeah, you guys do the show with the 46 car hanging up in the back.
I think the 46 car hanging up is in a shop right now, or Verizon store.
Factory Canopies. Todd, we can't thank Todd and those guys enough for coming on board and really taking care of us the last couple of years. And they got some new things coming at Factory Canopies that I guess Todd will probably talk about when we ever get him on the show.
Tell me about it. He's a hard man to catch up with.
Yeah, I know. Man, he's living a life. MPM Marketing, Tanya McAllister, some other social media people. We got Black Acid Apparel. If you need 1 shirt, 10 shirts, 3 shirts, those guys will hook you up. And the one that Jack always complains about, Safety Clean and Performance Plus Motor Oil.
I get nothing from them.
But they're really good to me, so that's all that matters.
Tell us how you feel, Jack.
That's all they do is give you stuff for your shop. They don't give us a thing for this show. So anyway, I'm not bitter at all. Not at all.
Doesn't sound that way.
I had to go down here and steal something out of his truck one time just so I had something. Anyway.
Thanks, Eddie. Eddie said I still need to work on my backlighting. Well,
yeah, but at least we don't have to hear that microwave tonight.
That's right. I got some Southland barbecue coming.
Well, you could share. You could have invited us over there after the show. We could all come and showed up over there.
Yeah, well, you can. Doors always open.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, we're going to do some news now. I guess you're done, right?
Yep, it's all you, Jack.
Okay. All right, do some news. This past weekend in the Cup Series, Christopher Bell got the win in the Cup Series. That was a pretty good win for him to get to where he was.
Almost didn't happen. I mean, if it weren't for that late caution, he wouldn't have won.
True, very true. The Xfinity race was won by AJ Allmendinger. The ARCA race at Toledo was won by Sammy Smith, and Nick Sanchez became the champion of the ARCA series this past year, or this year. So that's a big deal for him. Also down at Orange County, I did not get the full rundown on everything at Orange County, but I got a thing saying that Tristan McKee, 12 years old, won the late model championship at Orange County Speedway this past.
Wow.
And that's the youngest ever. And they said they went back and looked through the points and everything. They're trying to find a way not to give it to him, I think. And they couldn't do it. So anyway, he got the championship. The Owners' Championship in the Wheeling Modifieds was won by Tommy Baldwin Racing. That's they had 3 different drivers in their car this year. But up at Thompson, Eric Goodale got the win in the Modifieds. Down at Nashville this past weekend, Dylan Fetchko beat Jackson Boone for the win at Nashville. At Citrus County, some cat named Bubba Pollard won. I've heard that name before.
He's going to be something one day.
I'm going to tell you, I hope he gets to be something pretty soon because, he's getting on up there a little bit. Down in Hickory in the Smart Modifieds, Matt Hirschman got the win. Up at Dominion Speedway, I only got the 2 modified. I know the 2 modified winners, the 2 races in modified.
I can give you all of them. I just had it pulled up.
Well, Kayla Searles won the modifieds, both races in the modifieds.
In the modifieds, Josh Fowler won the Virginia modified. He's both of those races. In the Super Cup race 1, Doug George. Super Cup race 2, Brent Nelson. Dominion stock, Dan Rogers. UCAR, Michael Frazier, and then modified Kayla, and Virginia modified Josh.
Very good. So that was some good racing up there from what I understand. The Cars Tour, well, that was at Orange County too. Caden Honeycutt got the late model win, and in the pro late models, Caden Quapple got the win. That's, I think, win number 5 or 6.
Ace.
Was it Ace? It was Ace Speedway. Sorry, I was wrong. It was
I
Ace.
was really confused for a second.
Down in Halifax on the dirt in the late model, the I-95 late model series down there, William Milliken got the win. And that's a bunch of wins for him this year too. Also at Orange County, I forgot to mention, Boo Boo Dalton got a win.
Oh, Boo Boo.
I like Boo Boo Dalton. That's one of my favorites.
You just like saying Boo Boo Dalton.
I know. It's like we got Boo Boo to Zero running here at Langley. All right. Speaking of Langley Speedway, this past weekend was championship night. And the Enduro champion was Stephen Flynn, and Thomas Fontaine got the win in the race, in the Enduro race. In the limited late models, that little shit Riley, that little dude Riley Music got the win, and he won the championship. I didn't say that out loud much, did I?
Look, it was funny because I had his cell phone number. He don't have my number, so I texted him and said, "Congratulations, little shit." He's like, "Thanks. Who is this?" I said, "Who calls you little shit?" He said, "A lot of people."
In the karts, Trace Wyatt won the championship and won the race this past weekend. In the late models, Greg Edwards won the race, and Brendan Queen got championship number 3 in a row for Brendan. Now, we're not going to go into what looks like might be happening after this year, so we're not going to say anything, but Brendan, we'll have to get him on here and let him talk about that. In the U-Cars, hey, your buddy Landon Florian schooled him in the U-Cars this past weekend.
With a single cam motor. Everybody else is running the twin cams, all this horsepower. It's a single cam. That car handles through the corner.
Yeah, he was doing a heck of a number on him this past weekend.
You see, you get out of the car, he didn't even have a sweat. He didn't even break a sweat.
I know.
He had a good looking suit. He had a good looking suit on though.
But you know what I was thinking about the whole time?
What?
That cat can drive. What's he hanging around you for?
Hey, because he just wants to. He likes it.
All right. In the Pro 6, Travis Wall got the win, got the championship. Scott didn't get it.
Shocker.
Didn't get it this year. Hey, don't worry, my foot's gonna be bigger for next year. Literally.
In the sprint cars, Chris Humlett got the win. Bill Mullis won one of the heat races this past weekend. That was pretty cool. Whether I don't know. I kind of wondered if Bubba didn't let him win that race.
I wasn't even gonna say it.
I wanted to ask.
He cold custard it.
I was just gonna say. And in the Grand Stocks, Nick Sample got the win, and Chris Roberts won the championship. So that's a pretty big deal. I think it's Chris's second in a row.
Second in
a row, yeah.
Second in a row. So anyway, he got that one. All right, that's all the news. You got anything
You
you
want
want
to
to add?
talk about the big news, Jack? The $200,000 points or fine suspended
The
definitely.
Cole Custer thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got smacked pretty good for slowing down and letting all them cars run in the back of him down at Charlotte this past weekend.
No, I don't think the team cared a whole lot as long as the 14 made it through.
And the 14 made it through all right. The other two ran in the back of him.
I think he's got a legitimate shot of making the Final Four. I mean, since the playoffs, he's just seems like he can finish well.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, give us the rundown. What he got? How many points did he lose? He lost a bunch of points. Of course, it doesn't matter. He's not in the run for the.
It's 50 owner points and 25 driver points, I think it was.
So, yeah, that's.
And the crew chief suspended indefinitely. That was a shocker.
Now what gets me is why would you want to go and suspend the crew chief? He wasn't driving the car.
Well, if you listen to the audio, he said it looks like you got a flat tire. So
okay. Another one of those Clint Boyer.
You got a flat tire. It looks like you got a flat tire. Hold up.
Seems to be
And they said he couldn't tell from the box whether he had a flat tire or not. Now, I think if it came from the spotter, it would be different.
No. Where the car was at the time, you couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Couldn't see it. All right, let's go and get our first guest here. We got Rick Stott, and he's, this is a big night. We got a two-time champion here tonight, and now we got the King of the Hill. Tell us all about the King of the Hill. What all consists of King of the Hill?
So the King of the Hill is for Wacky Wednesday. They bring out a bunch of street cars. Basically, this year we did a pill pool, so we didn't get to pick our first races, so you couldn't really set up races like a lot of people like to. Essentially, it's just double elimination. So if you lose your first race, you got a chance to stay in it. But if you lose your second race, you're done for the night.
So,
which almost pretty much happened to me. I spun out my first race.
Did you have to run against Crystal West, any?
I did.
You did?
She drove it a little hard in 3 and 4, ended up taking out a cone, so that gave me that.
Oh! I know she was talking a lot of trash the other night, about how good she was racing and everything, and then, she came up here and was in the
trash.
Huh?
She talks mad trash.
Crystal West talks trash all the time.
I know. Justin says he bets us $20 we can't get Rick to smile.
I've already been smiling.
Oh, pay up. That was a smile right there.
All right, Justin, I want the money.
That's right. It's $20.
But anyway, so what got you started in Wacky Wednesday?
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sam Lamborghini. He used to drive a Monte Carlo out here at Wacky Wednesday. It was pretty quick. And then he started bringing the Opel out here.
I remember the name, but I never saw him before.
Yeah, so he worked at the AutoZone I used to go to a lot and talked. I had a BMW back then. So he talked me into bringing it out here, and I just was addicted from day one.
So, I mean, you like the Wacky Wednesday part of it. Do you have any aspirations of maybe trying to drive something else?
Thinking possibly U-Car in the future. Not guaranteed yet.
But didn't you have a chance to run the U-Car this past weekend?
I had a chance to run an Enduro.
Enduro, that's it, Enduro, yeah.
I gave it to a buddy of mine, Donovan Jewell. He wanted it a lot more than I did. So, what better opportunity?
And then he spun it on the first lap.
That was practice lap. That one
He
didn't
was
count.
getting warmed up. He was getting heat in the tires. This is part of the plan.
Yeah, he just spun it right around and was sitting on pit road down there.
In his defense, he had never driven that car before. That was his first time behind the wheel of that car on the track.
So that was a pretty good deal as far as they put that car together for one of y'all guys to come out here and try to run with the Enduros one race.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the future of maybe moving to like a Saturday night racing.
Possibly. I've got a pretty busy work schedule, 5 kids at home and a wife, so my schedule stays pretty busy. I don't know if I can afford another night.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but you screwed in that deal. Five kids and a wife.
Zach, I think that's what got him in trouble.
5 kids and a wife. That's pretty tough thing there. Have you ever done any other racing other than the Wacky Wednesday stuff?
So Wacky Wednesday was my first time on an actual racetrack. I've been here since 2017. Been here every season, and I've been to VIR twice now. That's the only time I've been on a racetrack.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty interesting that you can get involved in it. Now, who all helps you with the car, getting the car ready and everything?
So right now, Sean Goodman, Jeff Goodman, Tug Arnold helped me build the car last year. We had it set up pretty well last year. We were running 18.5s in the car. This year, I got it down to a 17.6.
Damn.
That's pretty much it. I mean,
That's a
we
big
built the backyard built pretty much.
That's a big jump, big pickup there that you've made with it over the year. Pretty good situation there. So, with that being in mind, what's going on there, you'll be back next year doing the Wacky Wednesday.
Oh, absolutely. The car will be faster.
So do you build a special car for Wacky Wednesday? I mean, is it something special, that doesn't have to be?
It doesn't have to be. So a lot of people say my
car.
Street legal car. A lot of people say my car is not a street car. The only thing that wouldn't pass an inspection on my car is a removable catalytic converter. It's got right under 200 wheel horsepower and a 60 shot of nitrous.
Wow.
Justin said it's a full-blown rocket ship, and don't let him say anything else.
Anybody who wants to prove me wrong is more welcome to look at the car and inspect it.
So how many times did you win out here this year?
A lot.
Wow.
And is that something is it common, when you win, it's argued that it's not a street car? Is this a thing?
Not normally. So I normally give people the staggers they ask for, unless it's somebody I've raced before and we've had
you know better.
We've had really close races and they're asking me for an additional car and a half the next week. I'm like, why would I give you a car and a half when I only beat you by a bumper last week?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's been many instances I've had to run somebody completely down.
I understand that they're giving them a certain amount. Because when I was drag racing,
right,
you did the same thing. You
set them
out the car lengths and everything. So you got to explain how they do that out here. How do they do that as far as giving the extra car lengths out here?
So essentially, we set cones up all around the track. Well, we don't. The officials do. So on the front stretch, the cones are numbered. They go from 0 all the way up to 9, which is a start-finish line. So some cars are good momentum cars, which means, once they're going, they're quick around the track. Other cars take off really well. You basically just have to figure out where you are and what a good stagger would be for you both to get around to the start-finish line at the same time.
So your car is good?
My car's pretty good in both aspects. The nitrous helps me get up off the line, so it takes off pretty good.
Now, do you work on the setup side of it, or trying to make it turn left a lot, or do you have it set up to go straight?
But we set it to have, it's got a square alignment on it. We don't do any of that, right side, left side adjustment stuff. Everything is so that it's a streetable car. I could take it from here to any other track, do autocross with it, anything like that. I didn't want to set it up to only turn left if I knew I was going to VIR to turn right.
Makes sense. Justin Kern just commented and said 19 events this year. Rick hasn't finished off the podium at all this year. He was credited with at least 14 time attack wins. That's pretty impressive.
So you're the man to beat.
This year, yes, but I'm pretty sure when Sparky West gets his car situated next year.
Oh, there we go, Sparky West. I knew that name was going to come up somewhere.
You mean Sparky's streetable car too?
I knew that was going to come up somewhere. Sparky West. That's just, when you talk about Wacky Wednesday, all you hear is Sparky West.
Yeah.
That's because you got Wacky in there.
And then he's got his wife teaching him how to drive, so that's pretty cool.
Oh man.
It's funny to watch them two go at it. They bigger back
That
and
was
forth.
pretty interesting the other night when she was in the the U cars, and she wrecked down here, and the guy ran into the side over in the U
She
car.
didn't wreck. Somebody wrecked her.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm not trying to put
Trying to
the middle
start
there.
something.
Oh, Mason Dunn says just wait until he buys a clunker Honda and comes for blood.
Come on.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
Mason Dunn always got something going on. I'm gonna tell you what. Anyway, so with that being said, and your cars that you got right now, how many different cars have you used since you started this? Have you used?
I started out with a 540 BMW, which was roughly 300 horsepower. And I think that year I was the king of spinning out on the track. Like rear wheel drive, I was spinning in circles all the time. I don't think there was a night out here I wasn't backwards on the track one way or another. Then I had a late 80s Honda hatchback, which I got T-boned in turn 3 and 4. No fault of the other driver. I lost control of the car and came down on him. So, and then it's the one I have now for the last 2 years.
Yeah, Justin wanted me and Scott to come out there and do one of those time attack things with our cars. And there ain't no way I'm going on the track with Scott Allen.
He wouldn't make a lap.
Huh?
He wouldn't make a lap.
I think I can
Nobody
make.
would make a lap alongside you, Scott.
Well, time attacks are on
It
the track.
depends on who gets the inside lane.
Exactly.
Well, the time he just explained it. Time attack, you're on the track by yourself, so you wouldn't be out there with me then. See, I wasn't sure about that, so I don't know a whole lot about all that.
So you're saying there's a chance we can get you to make a lap around the track if you're on the track by yourself and Scott Allen is not in the car.
If Scott Allen's not even not even at the track.
Okay. All right.
Because no matter what, Scott Allen, if he's at the track, somebody's gonna get hurt.
All right, Justin Kern, you're still on here. We got to set that up. Jack has agreed. So while Scott is still out minus a foot, let's set this up and get Jack around the track.
Right.
So do you have a stick shift in your car?
I do.
Okay.
That's
So
a 5-speed.
you know which pedals, what you're supposed to do with the pedals.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, when you get a chance, kind of send Scott a message. We'll tell him what to do with the
Hit me
pedals.
up on Facebook. We'll talk about it.
I'll get Matt to talk to you about it. I think he could probably help you.
Well, it only takes one F up, and you don't forget.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you forget it either. Hey?
No, apparently not.
Justice has been trying to get him out there to race, and we didn't do it. So anyway, well, that's pretty cool. And you've got the king of the hill. So what you get for being king of the hill? A trophy.
This year was a trophy, $1,700, and a chance to run the Enduro,
Nice.
which is the biggest they've ever set it up. Justin did
division.
Justin did a real good job this year with King of the Hill and Wacky in general. It's seeing a lot of improvement. So.
It's really cool.
So does all of your kids help you with the car? And how old are the kids?
My kids range from 16, 10, 6, and then I've got 2 4-year-old boys.
Oh, so they can help. Are they into the racing?
The 16-year-old wants to be, but not so much, not just yet. She wants me to buy her a fast car. I don't know if I can do that yet.
That's what I was going to say. It's just probably what it is.
Guys, don't do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, once you do it, you're hooked. You're hooked.
Oh, I was 16 at one point in time. I know.
So pretty.
Some of us still act 16.
But you still act like that sometimes. You're pretty sure.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Well, Rick, we appreciate you coming out and being with us tonight and being a part of the show. And congratulations on being king of the hill.
Thank you, and I appreciate you.
I thought Justin said you were going to bring your trophy and bring it out.
He didn't tell me to.
Oh, okay. Well, he said because I was hoping you would bring your trophy and set it right here
You
because
wouldn't be able to see me. It's nice and tall.
okay.
Just punch down behind.
Well, Scott don't have nothing like that. But what I wanted you to do is show Scott what a real trophy's all about.
Oh
I'll send him
my.
a picture.
So, and I know Matt didn't bring his, so I.
Well, Matt's got so damn many.
It is.
Huh?
Matt's got so damn many. Be like, which one do I want to take?
Don't they all go to Carly?
No, they go in our spare bedroom.
It's a trophy room. You can call it that now.
I guess you can say.
It's not cocky. It's a trophy room.
All right, appreciate you being here, being with us, and maybe next year you got a chance to run that Enduro or U-Car some and see how that goes.
I'm definitely going to do it at least one night. Backyard Motorsports said that since I gave Donovan the Enduro, they're at least putting me in it for one night.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool. That'd be good for you. That'd be fun. You get hooked on that, and then you'd be ready to do that for a while.
That's all I'm working on. No, I'm hooked on another racing thing.
So then he won't go back.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Congrats on a great year.
Thank you.
All right, let's get the big 2-time champion in here.
I don't know about big.
In the hot seat.
And look at here. The two-time champion has the card. Look at the card, nice card. He signed it and everything.
Erin designed that.
Erin
She gets a
designed-
little bit of credit for
Yep.
that.
Damn, Aaron, he won't even give you credit for that.
Well, hell, I didn't know.
Oh, quick, go.
I didn't know she did that. So she might have to hook us up one for long.
You got to use your words better, Jack. Quit saying hook up with Aaron. She's not hooking up with you.
How did he got to do that?
God, we have made it through ever since I started co-hosting. You have not made any of those comments.
Well, nobody's just called him out on the comments.
Well, you do enough of that as it is. All right, we got.
So I haven't really been following too much. Did you have some kind of surgery or hurt your leg or something like that?
Yes, I was in a car accident driving a client's car in February and broke my foot. And then,
Lion's car.
yeah, I own a small auto repair shop, so I was driving a customer's car.
Okay.
And then it wasn't healing right. So come find out they did a CT and all the bones and stuff were all jacked up and my toes don't bend. So I had to have screws and plates put in to line all the bones back up.
Oh wow.
So it's been a hell of a year.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
We
my
don't want to
foot's
hang out.
not never going to be right. Never going to be 100%.
Well,
Right.
he says,
Well, I mean, they said the same thing about my leg. They said I would never be 100%, but I'd say I'm about 99.9%.
Is that right? Yeah.
It took a few years, but
Yeah. Yeah. You had a pretty bad ordeal. I forgot about that. 'Cause
yeah,
where did your leg break at?
I broke the tibia and fibula. I still have a nail in it. Well, I guess they call it a nail. It's actually a rod and 4 screws. And then I broke my ankle when I was younger. So I've got 3 screws in that. So yeah, this whole leg is just nothing but hardware.
Yeah. How long did it take before it quit hurting?
I would say up until like last year or this year. I don't really feel it anymore, but I mean, I still occasionally, if I'm on it for a long period of time, or if it's raining or really cold, yeah, I can definitely still feel it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty normal. I mean, like I said, it took a while for it to fully heal and kind of get back to normal.
Yeah. That's what one guy told me. He's like, it was like 3 or 4 years later. And he's like, hey, my leg don't bother me no more. He just kind of forgot about it and then it quit bothering him.
well, Scott's telling everybody. I'm just gonna tell you, just between us. Just between us. Scott's telling everybody his foot is really a sex change operation.
Remember, I was trying to be nice.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I just thought I'd let you know that before we got started.
Mm.
Matt, I know it was a good year for you this year to come back and get that championship again this year.
It was a great year.
So,
nothing to complain about, for sure.
well, and you had so much help with, all this.
Oh yeah, Mayhem, Erin, yeah, definitely. It's been a game changer
So
for
what
our
does she
social media.
You do
Sure.
this to every client that comes on the show.
What does she actually do? I mean,
I mean,
Do you see his cool hero card?
yeah, I see that.
she does a lot. I mean, the Matt Carter Racing Facebook page. I mean, I have nothing to do with that really. I mean, it's pretty much all her.
Oh, okay. So you're saying she's pretty smart after you think about it.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, she's done a good job with some of the stuff she's done. But the one you did today was pretty cool too. I mean, with the show and everything, that was pretty cool. I'm gonna say, I have to give her your props. You did good for that.
Write it down, Scott.
I marked it on the calendar. Don't worry.
Thanks.
So you started out the year this year running the modified and a late model.
Yep, that's correct.
So what made you drop the late model?
Well, there was also, when we started the year, we were just going for wins, and someone said, I'm not going after a championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think originally going into this year, with running the late model and running the modified, I mean, I really wasn't gonna run for any kind of championship. It was pretty much just go out there, just have fun, win races. And my plan wasn't to really run a full season in the modified. But we started winning races, and
Makes you change your
It-
philosophy on things.
it does. It does. I mean, there's a lot that goes into running for a championship. I mean, there's a lot of stress that goes into it. I mean,
It's a huge commitment.
I mean, making sure that everything is perfect on the car each and every week, and it's just mentally and physically it drains you. You know.
It's a bit that, to have to go through the grind all during the
Mhm.
week and then race on Saturday or whatever, and then
Yep.
Sunday you really basically start it all over again. And if something happens on Saturday night,
Yep.
you behind the ball to start off
Oh
with.
yeah.
And I feel like your guys have got it down to a science. I think you show up on Saturday and your guys very rarely have wrenches to turn or work to do because they prepare their hot rod in the shop. They get it ready and they unload fast. And
Yeah. I mean, once you find that really good setup, I mean, it's just basically it's just fine tuning from there. I mean, there's times where we'll try some different things just because I mean you got to constantly try to keep up and find more speed because you got Brad, you got Rick, you got these guys that are really working hard, and if you're not working on your car, I mean, they're going to catch you and they're going to beat you. So I mean it's a game you got to keep up and try to keep building and finding speed.
So how often do you sit down and look and say, okay, we need to. Rick's coming. He's catching us in this situation. What do we need to do?
I mean, every week. We're trying. It might not be major changes, but we're trying different things every week. Because like I said, Brad was definitely really fast this year. And Rick he's always fast. I mean, it's between them two. I mean, you never know. I mean, you better bring your A game to the racetrack each and every time.
I mean, you seem to have that down pat. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Matt, and we were just talking about your leg. When you broke your leg there, did you ever think, fast forward a couple of years, that you'd have the seasons that you've had the last couple of years?
Absolutely not. I mean, I thought I was done, to be honest with you.
Did you really?
I mean, the first year going into it, I mean, I was pretty nervous about it. I mean, mentally it bothered me because, when you hit the wall like that, you're thinking about getting hurt. And the first time coming back out, was when Sean was killed out here. So I had two things against me that I was constantly was on my mind, and it took a little while to focus and get that out of your head and focus on, what you have to do to go win races,
I've talked to I can't think of the guy's name now, but I talked to him. He was real close to Sean when he was a modified driver. I can't think of his name right off the top of his. He says he has a hard time sometimes thinking when he's in the car.
Mhm.
He goes down through 1 and 2. He sees that sticker over there on the
yeah.
wall, and he says he has a hard time getting that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It comes up, it flashes in his mind every time.
It does occasionally, and I was right behind Sean when that happened. So I mean, I witnessed it. So
How much do you think about, because I know, I mean, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, that, before you broke your leg, you were really close to competing with Sean, and Sean was the man. I mean, let's be honest.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think now you could probably compete against him.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of sucks because, how gratifying would that be today?
Yeah, I mean, I think about it all the time. I mean, we would be having such great races out here. I mean, we would be.
the banter back and
Oh,
forth
that
would
would
be iconic.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I mean, we built that car to beat Sean.
Right.
I mean, that's what that car was all about, was to beat Sean. I mean, it's unfortunate that what happened.
Yeah. And kind of speaking of tragedy, I see Danny was on here, Danny Millard. He said, "What's up, guys? What's up, Danny?" And I put the DM Strong on there because Dave watches the show a lot, and he always watches every week, and so I always want to tell those guys that we're always thinking about him, and you can't go to the racetrack and not think about Sean, but I mean, in irony, in some ways, you could think of, like, I mean, lack of a better term, what better place could you think, Sean, almost like Dale Sr. I mean, this is what he lived and did and all he thought about, to always be at the racetrack. I mean, yeah, it was short-lived. Both of them were short-lived, and that's sad because he's going to miss out on a lot of things, and a lot of people are going to miss out on him. But still, it's just, I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Well, the big elephant in the room right now, so we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. We got a big race coming up here at the end of the month. So,
So can you tell us the sore subject over here?
yeah, I was looking at how both of them were reacting when I was saying it. It was kind of cool.
It's a very sore subject, but it's a stressful subject.
Let's just say you don't race that race.
Well, I think we've got to give the backstory for the people watching. So kind of clue everyone in. Obviously, everyone has seen, you and Rick are very close. They've seen the banter back and forth and his obsession with your cologne.
Do what?
So it's like an ongoing joke because Matt's always first that Rick's going to get close enough to actually smell his cologne.
Oh, okay.
It's Rick. You never know what's going to come out of
No, you don't.
But you've been doing some extra crew help. That's a pretty cool opportunity. So why don't you tell everyone about that first?
Yeah, I've started helping them out on the Lamborghini team, Brandon PPM team. Supposed to go out to Portugal for the World Finals, and we fly out October 29th.
Oh boy!
So,
are you sure Rick didn't plan this?
So that's all Brandon Godovic's deal. So Brandon was in charge of the booking of travel, but I think in his mind it was so far after the original scheduled date for the Palooza race that we felt safe making that a departure day for Matt, knowing that ideally if it did get rained out, maybe it would just be the next weekend or something like that. But now we're kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, the 29th was kind of the only weekend that they had available because you had this weekend coming up, you had the Day of Destruction, then you have the Drift cars coming out the week after. So unfortunately, it falls on that weekend. But I mean, we're trying to maybe possibly get some flights changed, but nothing's guaranteed.
So what you got into this formula racing, or whatever you want to call it? You got into it. What have you learned from that stuff? As far as have you seen a different type of racing?
It's completely different. I mean, I really didn't know a whole lot about it, and I mean, I started. I help Rick out. I helped their team out with the modified a little bit. And then kind of one thing kind of led to another, and they were looking for some help with the Lamborghini stuff, and I volunteered to go out to Watkins Glen my first week and had a great time. And I really enjoy working on, not just driving the cars, but I mean, I really enjoy working on cars and trying to make them go faster as well. And
he even came out here and helped K&M last Friday.
I mean, I could give up driving at any time and go help and be just as satisfied.
Hey, I got to say, one time I was out there practicing one day, and I was like, I don't know, obviously I don't have the credentials of Matt, and I was like, hey, Matt, can you get in my car? And
I spun it out. I remember that.
I was like, man, it just seems like it's so tight over here, and then I'm having a hard time getting off the corner. I just want to make somebody else to do it and reiterate what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And about 3 laps in or 5 laps in, Matt spun it. I'm like, yep, that's what I'm feeling.
Those cars they drive completely different. I mean, it's almost like you feel like you can almost full throttle the thing all the way around the corner.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna work my way. I'm gonna see if I can try to get this. But, it didn't work out too well.
Would you like to try one of them Formula cars and drive one of those?
The Lamborghini?
Yeah,
absolutely. If I had the opportunity, for sure.
You can talk Rick into it.
Possibly.
I think
maybe slide him a bag of candy corn or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez.
He don't really like big candy corn, does he? Every time I see it, it's all he's doing is candy corn.
Let me tell you, I have people that come up to me randomly and give me bags of candy corn. I have candy corn gifts in my car for Rick. Like, it's a whole thing. And now circus peanuts for Ricky Smoot. And I tell you, there's a lot of moving pieces with that one.
Well, we need to get Ricky
We
Smoot. on
definitely
here.
need to get Ricky.
Yeah, we gotta get Ricky Smoot on here.
You have your people contact his people.
I thought we'd already done that.
All right, well,
I thought we'd already done all that.
I'll try. I'll
Okay.
see what I can do.
See, I knew Ricky Smoot's people right over here, so
Right.
not a big deal.
So
But I'll tell you what,
What's
Go
the
ahead.
plans for next year, Matt?
We're still working out some things. I mean, you know, we're going to continue with the modified. We're more than likely going to continue with the late model program. My dad's got a vintage car that he's building, so I'm gonna drive that some next year.
That has been really cool to see
Yeah.
the
I saw
progress.
that. I
of
saw that. Yeah.
And wasn't it your brother doing the hand painting on it? That's
Hand painting on it. Yep.
insane.
Yep.
So all of y'all are just crazy talented.
I'm not really talented at anything.
You turn left pretty good.
You're a two-time champion. What do you mean you're not talented? You got to be a little bit talented to be able to do that.
Oh, we're gonna have a special visitor.
Uh-oh.
It's gotta be because. What? Oh, first world problem. Can you say hi to everybody? No. Can you tell Scott hi? You don't like Scott?
Don't feel bad. Not a lot of people
Yeah,
do.
it's okay. Who's your favorite race car driver? But who took you to victory lane this year? Kyle Fowler did not take you to victory lane this year. It was Matt. Remember, he promised you. He told you he would meet you in victory lane,
You forgot already?
right? It was just a couple weeks ago.
You know how kids are. Short memory.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it works out sometimes. Well, I think you ought to go back and get that late model out and
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, we ran the Hampton Heat, and that was a pretty interesting race. I got into the wall in the back stretch, and then, well, that wasn't the reason why we had to that ended our night. It was the car overheated. But after filling them, were evaluating the car, they determined that they found some issues, some pretty major issues that were wrong with the cars. And it went to Hitchcock. They put a new clip on it, so it's got all the updates.
yeah. The modified is your car, right? That's your.
It belongs to Randy Sears.
Randy Sears. Okay.
Yep.
And the late model is Rick's.
No, well, it belongs to the Queens.
To the Queen.
Mhm.
To-
It's just Snack Mobile sponsor.
Yes.
Okay. I gotta get to the bottom of it. I didn't know. So that's pretty cool. You got.
Yep.
I wish I could find somebody, when I was racing, that let me drive their cars.
Right?
Jack, you got to run up front first.
And you ain't got no room to talk.
Hey, how's your motor?
Huh?
How's your motor?
Not good.
Same, bro. Same.
It's got a hole in it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have an oversized motor that you're not supposed to have.
Ooh, how
Hey.
do you feel?
Yeah. As long as you don't get caught, you ain't cheating.
That's what I told Rick Powell too. He has been over, his motor. He was
Well,
cheating.
that's who I got to build the motor.
So are those motors, they're supposed to be stock, like right out of a Nissan, whatever they come out of?
Man,
Can you-
everything.
can you
He
do-
couldn't
can you-
tell you what the rules are
can you
because
do
he doesn't
things?
follow them.
The rules are they're kind of vague on the whole class, to be completely honest. But there is and there's not a lot of. It's not like if you had a Chevy 350, there's a million aftermarket stuff to do. Well, this thing is not that. There's just not that much options out there, so it helps keep people from building a big monster motor. And there's not a lot you can do. I mean, everything's got to be pretty much stock. I haven't really read over the engine rules that much because we had a Well, we originally had a good piece, which
And
if we could get some more Florian power, would be great.
If you read over the rules and then you don't have what's supposed to in the rule book, you say,
Right.
so, I didn't see it. I
I
didn't know
didn't
that.
see that part there.
I just drive, man.
I just show up and drive the car. That's all I do. So anyway. Well, Matt, appreciate you coming out and being
Yeah,
with us.
absolutely.
Big
Absolutely.
two-time champion.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had some more news on what exactly what our plans are next year, but we're still working out a few things, and I mean, regardless, it's gonna be definitely a busy year.
You need to just tell your PR person to get on the stick and get this taken care of.
Oh, those are not decisions that PR make.
Well, we haven't even finished this year out, so.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. Are you gonna do any other races?
Yeah, we're planning on running the Thanksgiving Classic.
Okay. I thought,
Maybe not late model, but definitely the modified. So
It's gonna be cold, Carly.
we're looking forward to that.
We're gonna need lots of heaters.
We were supposed to run it last year, but I ended up getting sick on Thanksgiving Day and couldn't make it.
COVID.
well, I hope he makes it because I'm gonna try to make it down. I know you can't walk, so.
No. Well, I should be walking by then.
Do you have like a knee scooter?
Yes.
I got a knee scooter and I have an electric scooter. I got one of them little.
Are you going through any kind of physical therapy yet?
I went today and they're going to start physical therapy, even though I'm not allowed to walk on it yet or take it out of the boot yet. I'm like, okay, and we're going to start physical therapy. All right.
Can I get a video of you riding the knee scooter? Please.
Sure.
I think all of Facebook needs to see that.
You wasn't at the banquet last year?
That's my electric scooter. That's not the knee scooter. It's a different scooter, Jack.
Oh, okay. When he was roaming around down
I
there.
stopped going to banquets, but I guess this year, this banquet, whatever, I guess I'm kind of going to have to suck it up and go this year.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah, my modified drivers
The modified
showed
driver got
up
a
and showed
championship.
out.
Got a championship.
1,
Second.
2.
Yep.
So that's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal for you.
Is the championship over or is
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay.
And that night, so he, won the race, won the championship, and Rick comes over and we're all talking in victory lane. We go over to Tech and Rick was like, wow, can't believe, I end up finishing second in points. And honestly, leading up to that race, the focus had been obviously on Matt. And point wise, we didn't really pay attention. Like, we knew that everything would have to go wrong for Rick to capitalize and get second. And so we had pretty much written that off with, how consistent that Brad had been all year. So here I am looking my boss dead in the face. And he was like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, you really couldn't have wrote this night any better. And he was like, yeah, we could have. I could have won the race and he still would have won the championship. And I was like, I didn't even think about that option. So
I tell you what, it was impressive how fast Brad got there at the end of the year.
I thought he was really consistent
Yeah, he was very consistent
all year.
Yeah, but it seemed like he got a little bit of extra speed there the last part of the season. And Brad, I gotta get him to quit helping people in the Pro 6 class because he's making them a little faster.
Yeah, you need to find you somebody to help you get faster or teach you how to drive.
Well, look, I ran 2 races. I got creamed in one, and the other one I sat on the outside pole and finished second, Jack. I mean,
Out of what, 2 cars?
okay, Erin.
Okay,
Hey,
that was
and I can say that same thing. Landon got in the car. He qualified 3rd and was running 2nd. Didn't have anything for Travis, and the car's not that great. Well, we got to fix it, but we'll work on it.
So that's where then the motor blew and you got to do a whole lot of fixing.
Yeah. But the car's back in one piece after that.
Well, Matt, thank you for coming, man. Appreciate it
Yeah,
being here. We'll get you
always
back out here
enjoy it.
real soon. We'll get you back again real soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks
Since
for
we
having
got your
me.
PR girl involved with us now, she'll keep us apprised of what's going on.
Good deal.
She'll sneak us a little tidbit here and there. No, she won't. She won't tell us nothing. So anyway,
I'm under NDA.
All right, thank you.
thank you. Appreciate it. And next time, bring your trophy with you because I want Scott to see what a real trophy is.
Yeah, I want to touch it. Eddie Clark says he can trade barbecue for a ride.
So today's the last night?
Tonight, yes.
Okay, so real quick, his wife Andrea, championship shirts are done. The first order is already out, but they are closing out a second order tonight. So if you head over to the Matt Carter Racing Facebook page, you can comment on the post. Just let them know what size you want, and then you can Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all of that stuff, and Andrea will get you taken care of.
I've already talked to them. I went right straight to the horse's mouth. I went right straight to him.
Well, you didn't go to the horse's
I bet
mouth.
you just forward it to Andrea.
No, I'll take care of that one. I'll still do a little bit.
All right, Scott. We got a new person on here that we haven't talked to before. Let's get him on here and see what's going on with him.
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Hey, we're wonderful. Tell us a little bit about Zack Miracle. I mean, I've been hearing your name and everything. I want to hear what all you got going on.
Yeah, so I am, obviously, my name's Zack Miracle. I am 16 years old, and I am a senior in high school. I'm running full-time in the Cars Tour Late Model Stock Division this year. I'm a member of the Touring 12, go to all the races, and do all the benefits of being a part of the Touring 12. I've been racing for about 8 years now. Started in the Bandoleros, and then worked my way up to Legend Cars, limited late models, and then started late model stock racing last year at Florence Motor Speedway. We ran a full season there last year, and this year decided to move up into the Cars Tour.
So the competition in the Cars Tour is unbelievable. So how's it been going for you since you moved up into that tour?
Yeah, it's been super challenging. All those guys are super, super good. It's been harder than I expected, for sure. Those guys are really good, and we've had pretty good speed everywhere we've went, but those guys are super good at managing the races and making it to the end, and that's something we've struggled with a little bit this year. But I think we're finally starting to turn a new leaf, and the past few races, they've been pretty good for us.
So where did you start racing at? What racetrack did you start out at?
So I mainly started racing at Concord Speedway. I think it is now shut down in Concord, North Carolina, about 15, 20 minutes from my house. Started racing the Bandoleros there, ran a little bit at the Summer Shootout, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and just ran a little bit, up and down. We never made it out to Langley to run the bandos there, but went to Southside Speedway that's now closed down, went there in a bando. So we just went a little bit of everywhere in the bando, and then raced the Legend car at Concord Motor Speedway mainly, and then traveled around a little bit with it too.
So now who do you drive for? Is that your car, or are you driving for somebody else?
Yeah, so we own the car that I am driving, the late model that I'm driving. But we have a super good friend of ours, Greg Peterson. He sets it up. He's kind of the crew chief. The car stays at his shop and all that, but we own the car.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So who is your crew chief and everything to help you with it?
Yeah, like I said, Greg Peterson, he's been a family friend for as long as I can remember. He's known me since I was born. He helped my dad when my dad raced, and the car stays at his shop, but it is ours, and he's like family to us, so it works out really good.
Growing up in the Charlotte area like you did, it gives you a lot more ability to see these other people that come along and race out of the Charlotte area. So, I mean, who are some of the guys you've been racing against through these years that you're racing now in the Cars Tour?
Yeah, I've known a lot of the guys that I'm racing for many years. Connor Jones, I've raced with him since the Bandoleros. Jansen Marchbanks, I raced with him in Legend Cars. I'm racing against him now. Braden Rogers, I ran against him a little bit in the Legend Cars. So a lot of these guys I kind of have known for a little while, and we've been racing each other for as long as I can remember.
How do you feel about that Chase Burrow kid?
He's tough. Yeah, we've been trying to chase him all year, trying to catch up in the Rookie of the Year points. But I think he's got it wrapped up, or at least from us anyway. I don't know what the points is anymore.
I think it's still pretty tight.
Yeah.
So, what you got left for this season? What are you going to be doing the rest of this season?
So right now we have 2 more races left in the Cars Tour. We have South Boston October the 22nd, and then Caraway November 5th, I believe. And then we plan on running the Charlie Powell Memorial 400 at Florence later in November. And then as of right now, we're trying to make the Thanksgiving Classic at Southern National.
Well, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good set of races there for you for the rest of the year. That's good. That's good for your be able to get some good competition in there.
Yeah, for sure. Those races are pretty hard to win, so we're gonna give it our all.
So what's it? I mean, what was it when you went from like the Bandoleros up to the late models or whatever? What was the biggest thing you had to learn in between?
For me, learning the cars haven't been super hard, learning from car to car. The main thing that I've been struggling with, especially this year, is learning how to race and manage the races, especially running the Cars Tour. Those guys, like I said, they're so good. And I've always felt like, for me, driving the cars has been the easy part, but managing the race has been the part I've struggled with. So I think it's just been a little bit of a progression naturally, going from the shorter races to like the shorter races in the legend cars to the little bit longer races last year in the late model, and now doing the 125 150 lap races every week. That's really been the part that I've struggled with.
So who spots for you?
Matt Brooks spots for me. He's a really good spotter. I really enjoy having him. He's worked on late models for many years. He drove himself, so he's really good. He kind of knows the ins and outs, and he's really helped me learning how to manage these races. He's been a big help.
I was going to say, who's the person that you've gone to, and this is your first time in the Cars Tour, about these different racetracks that you guys are going to? There's probably a lot of them you've never been to. Do you go to somebody, to another driver in the class, or do you have somebody internal in the race team that helps you with these new tracks that you've gone to?
Yeah, I rely heavily on my crew chief, Greg Peterson. Like I said, we're pretty much family at this point. I go up and help him almost every day in the shop. So we talk a lot about the races. We watch them together. Matt Brooks, like I said, over the radio, he helps me, during the race. This is what you need to do. This is where we need to be. So we don't have a ton of guys, but we kind of rely on one another heavily, and it makes for a really good fit.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad you're having some success at it, and hopefully you'll get you a win or two here before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
All right, now who else helped sponsor with your car there? To let us know who all that is.
So right now we don't really have a main sponsor. It's just my dad's company, Miracle Dental Center. He's located in Monroe, North Carolina, if you guys need any dental work. But we're looking for sponsors. So anyone that would be willing to help me, send me a message on Facebook. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have all the social media apps. So follow me, Zack Miracle, or Miracle Motorsports on all those social media apps, and let us know if you want to give us a hand.
All right, Zack. Well, we appreciate your time tonight, man. Thanks for being with us, and good luck to you the rest of the way. Maybe we'll run into you down at Southern National or somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I got Jefferson Hodges. He's going to have to be on the phone.
Okay.
Hey, Jefferson, how you doing?
You gotta put on speakerphone first.
I'm doing great, man. How's everything down your way?
We're just managing our way through the playoffs. All good here.
Look, something I've been wanting. I thought about it when I started talking about getting you on the show. This new car and everything, all the critiquing they're doing of this new car with the accidents and safety and everything they're talking about. Have you guys really sit down and discussed it with them about what the problems are?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been in contact with them daily, really. And as more of the problems pop up, and we get more involved, and it's ongoing. There's a lot that can be done better for sure. And there's a lot that's going to change, I think, for 2023. But for now, we've got what we've got, and we're doing the best we can with it. And you know, it's part of it, right? It's a new car. It's everything about it's new. We're all learning together.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the more we learn, the better we get.
yeah, and one of the things is, you know, being the new car and what all you've had to go through, has it been such a task to be able to get a handle on that car?
I don't know. That's a tough question. There's times we thought we had a pretty good handle on it, and there's times that we left the racetrack and thought that, you know, there was somebody that was more advanced than we were, and that we needed to do our homework better. But it's definitely interesting. I mean, everything about it's new, and the tires new, and the wheel. Like, I mean, people take it for granted, but we went from a 15-inch wheel to an 18-inch wheel, and that's a huge difference in the sidewall. And so when you start thinking about tire pressures and what they do during the run, it's just a learning experience. It's fun to be a part of, really. I mean, it's honestly, it's an exciting time of the year or an exciting time for the whole sport, really. It's different, and we're learning, and some people learn at a different rate than others, and then you got the whole copycat, you know, influence part of it, and it's making it really interesting. It's a great time being a fan, because we go to Las Vegas this week and we have no idea what we're gonna get. It's gonna change, and it'll change again when we get to Homestead, and then Martinsville will change again. Like, it's a great time to be a part of this sport.
Yeah, and you know, from my personal thoughts and what I've been watching of it, everything, the racing seems to be probably more competitive than it has been in the past, and it's open to more people to have a chance to win a race.
That's because none of us know really what every week brings something new. You know, I mean, somebody, you know, one team might be working on the body, and the next team is working on the chassis, and the next team is working on the pit stops. Because, I mean, in all honesty, that's been a huge part of the change. And so it's really evolving quick, day to day, which we've not seen that in our sport in a long time. So it's really interesting, really. I mean, it's a great time to be a fan. It's a tough time to be a competitor.
A tough time to be a director of the down there in that shop, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
do you
should work on. We don't know whether we should work on, you know, being big crew guys or being chassis guys, really.
So how many changes in personnel did you all make when this new car came in?
None, really.
So everything stayed about the same.
Yeah, you go with what you got, and you try to learn, and you try to learn at a faster pace than the next guy. And sometimes it doesn't.
With your 3 Cup cars, I mean, you got with Blaney and Logano and Cindric, the 3 Cup cars. Do you sit down and each team has their own little itinerary of things that they want to work on? It may help the others.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, you work on the car, and obviously at the beginning of the year we're all trying different things and trying to see what works the best versus, you know, the other. And then as you progress through the year, you know, maybe what works versus what doesn't. So you kind of start with a package, and then, you know, then it progresses. You know, so then you start thinking about, you know, these cars have rear sway bars all the time, which the other cars did not.
Yeah.
And so it's you know, it just evolves as you go. So it just changes every week. It's really hard to explain, because the difference from last year versus this year is night and day. So every night, every day, every weekend, it's a learning experience. Every time you get to go to the simulator, every time you get to go to the wind tunnel, every time you get to go to the track, it just changes. So it's evolving daily. So we don't know what we're going to get when we go to Vegas. And then it turns around a week later and we won't know what we get when we get to Homestead.
That's going to be tough. I mean, to be able to have two different tracks like that and you're not really sure what you got, and it's going to be hard to deal with.
Absolutely.
So look.
We went to Vegas. We had a test in Homestead a couple months ago, or a week or two ago. And you know, you're trying to learn stuff to go to Texas when we're in Homestead. And so that gets you through one round of the playoffs, and then you go to the Roval, and obviously that's totally different. And that decides what you learned at Homestead, what was actually going to be relevant when you go to Vegas. And now we're going to Vegas, and we'll go there, and we'll try to, you know, apply what we learned in Homestead. And so that'll be a variable, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have taken something different from that Homestead test, and we'll leave there, and then we go to Homestead, and everyone's going to probably unload with exactly what they had in Vegas or at Homestead at the test. And so that'll be much more of a known. So it'll be much more of a race that the people that were good in Homestead will be good at Homestead. But we have no idea what will transfer to Vegas. But we're all taking our best guess. And to me, that's exciting because we've never had that. We always went to Vegas and we knew what we had at Vegas. And we went to Homestead and we knew what we had at Homestead. And then we went to Martinsville, which we also had a test, and we knew what we had. But this year you don't. You know what you learned at Homestead, you know what you learned at Martinsville, but who applies what to Vegas is an unknown for the entire sport.
Well, what is your take on the fact that, you know, there is no, I mean, the practice is cut back to very little practice. I mean, how has that affected you guys when you don't get that much time to even get out on the track? I mean, you get out there, you're able to shake it down and get the ride heights and everything straight, but you're not getting a lot of traffic, travel in the car and everything at that point in time. So what do you do as far as practice? I mean, that's got to be hard to be able to go out there and not have any practice.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. We everything we've learned from the dawn of time to today is different. So we were always worried about the overbody, where the spoiler was, where the fenders were, where the car rode around the racetrack. And now with this new car, you've got the whole underbody, the underwing, the diffuser, all this stuff it's new to everybody. So it's really interesting to see how people have taken all this information and turned it into something that's becomes a variable at the racetrack. So when, you know, like I said, when we go to Vegas, we've not had an opportunity to test there. So you're taking everything you learned at Homestead and at the test and trying to transfer it to what happens in Vegas, what happens with the hot temperatures and the big bump into turn one, and it just makes it's just a huge variable. And there's never been a variable in the last 5, 6, 10 years in this series, and now there is. So you get these guys or these teams that all of a sudden they'll hit on something and then they run good. So then you go back to what were they doing? What was the attitude of their car? What was the shocks or the springs that we saw in post-race tech? And you take that to the next race. And it really makes it interesting because it's just something we've never had in this sport, not in years. And so it literally changes week to week. And it's an exciting thing to be a fan because we've never had that.
Now, how close did the simulators help you guys with getting the car ready for, like, let's say this coming weekend in Vegas? I mean, I know they spend a lot of time on that simulator and spend a lot of time checking the cars and everything. How close do you get it when you get there?
We'd like to think we're close. never know. There's when you start talking about simulators, you're talking about tire models and track grip and all these variables that are manufacturer dependent. So you're dependent on each one of the manufacturers to have the best tire model, the best track model, whatever it might be when you're talking about testing. And before a year ago, all that stuff was so scienced out that it was perfect. So every Ford, Chevy, Toyota, it didn't matter. They all had the same thing. And it showed on the racetrack. Everybody ran the same speed. They all knew what was going to happen. And it made the racing was very vanilla because we all knew what to expect. But with this new car and the new tire and the size of the wheel changes everything because it changes the sidewall of the tire. It makes it to where now when we go test, you don't really know what manufacturer learned the most.
Yeah.
And that's what's making the racing so exciting.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the dependability of the car. I mean, and the durability of the car, because I've been hearing a lot of things about this car is so durable. But every time I turn around, somebody's been in a toe link or something like that on the car, and it screws up their day. So how durable are these cars?
I mean, as long as you don't hit anything, they're fine.
Well,
Hey, Jack.
It kind of goes back to the basics. Like, if you bang wheels, if you bang the bodies. So it used to be all about the body.
Yeah.
And that's where the racing to me got very vanilla. If you messed up a fender, if you moved your right rear quarter panel because you brushed the wall, then everything changed. And now we have these bodies that are composite and they're very durable. They can withstand a little bumping and banging, so the body doesn't change. So it takes all of that out of the equation. But now you're worried about the suspension. And at the end of the day, if you don't touch anything, then it doesn't change. But if you do, it's a risk.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much you're willing to risk that to get to the end of the race. So it's just changed. It used to be the body, now it's the suspension. It's not really any different.
Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Jefferson, this car has come out to help cost saving also. Has this car, I mean, we've heard the car has not really been that cost efficient so far. What's your take on the cost or the cost of this car and the future of it?
It's not inexpensive. Like, we're at the highest form of racing in North America. These are the best teams. They're the best race car drivers. They're the best that we have in North America. They're the best stock car racers in the world. There's nothing about it that's inexpensive. There's no denying that. It's evolving, and there's certainly issues that we're finding, and we work out the weak links and try to move forward. But at the end of the day, whether you're knocking in the fender of a steel body car and changing the way it handles, or you're bending a toe link on this car, it's kind of the same. You just got to take it into consideration and the way you want to run your race, and you just kind of go from there.
Well, Jefferson, I appreciate you spending a little time. I know you're busy out on the road, driving down the road or something tonight. So I want to say thank you for spending some time and giving us an update on these cars, because we're really interested in what's going on with them.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a great time for the sport. Like, and when you watch races on TV, at the end of the day, you really don't know. You don't know who's going to run good. We don't know who's going to run good when we go to Vegas, and at the end of this week, like, we had a really we had good cars earlier this year in Vegas, and we had cars that weren't so good. But at the end of the day, what we've learned since we were there in March compared to what we're going to back now, it's totally different. So I think, as a fan, you're going to see a totally different race. You're going to see different cars and different manufacturers that are going to run good compared to March, and it's evolving daily. It's a great time to be a fan of the sport. There's no doubt.
Well, Jefferson, we appreciate your time, man. Thanks a lot. I'll get back with you again sometime soon, and we'll have you on again and give a little more information on it. And hopefully I'm going to get down to Charlotte before too much longer. I might slop by there and see you.
Anytime, call me.
I want to ask a question
Oh, hold
real
on.
quick.
Get back to Langley sometime soon and see those new fancy lights.
Yeah, hold on a minute. We got one more question for you.
So as soon as you came on the show, I started getting a lot of text messages. Apparently, the boroughs a little bit.
Yeah. I do. I was part of Ryan and Holly's life when Chase was born, so it makes me feel old to see that kid run so good. But man, nothing makes me prouder. I was like, we were in Texas there, racing our way through the playoffs, and I was buried in my laptop watching Chase run the Martinsville race, and I couldn't be prouder of him.
Heck yeah.
It's amazing to watch that kid run and how good he's done, and I love it for Ryan and Holly and everything they've done at After Hours, with their chassis program, and it's great. I mean,
They're incredible
honestly,
people.
To me, to be here in Charlotte, and I feel like I'm away from my family and I'm away from my friends that I originally made in racing, and to have that link to go back to them and see how good that kid did at Martinsville, and literally we were in the hotel in Texas, and there was 20 guys part of Penske watching my laptop on Flow Racing, watching Chase run at Martinsville and legitimately have a chance to win. Like, it was awesome. I mean, that's what racing is all about. It's a family thing, and it's a friend thing, and it's at the end of the day, like, all of these racers are just family, and I couldn't be more proud of what that kid's done, and happy for him and for his family, and it's awesome. I love it. It makes me so happy I couldn't see straight.
Yeah, you got a lot of connections back here at Langley and everything, and we're kind of proud of you too, being down there in Charlotte and with all you've done down there. So that's a big deal for all of us.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And, at the end of the day, you expect Mark Edwards to run good, and we always expect the Edwards to run good, and I never take it for granted. Like, I love seeing it, but to see Chase run outside pole at Martinsville, like, man, that's something I never did. And just to see that kid do that, I love it. I talked to Ryan for an hour on the phone after Martinsville, and I couldn't be more proud of him. And I feel like I'm a little bit of a part of it. Ryan and I worked together at Townsend for years, and I feel like him and I pushed each other to be better, and I'm really proud of him, and it made me happy. It made my year. It was, honestly, I can be down here in Charlotte doing whatever I'm doing, but seeing stuff like that makes my day.
Yeah, it was definitely a special moment for everyone involved in that camp.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Like, I mean, to have a chance to win that race, it's pretty special. And I've got a son that's the exact same age as Chase. Ryan and I got married at the same time and had kids at the same time, and my son plays soccer and his son races, and it's awesome. Like, I couldn't be happier for him. It literally, if nothing better happened to me, I'm satisfied just seeing what happened to them and being able to be a small part of it, and knowing that, After Hours fabrication, Ryan and I kind of started that business together, and we were building pit boxes and, just anything we could do to make a living to better our families, and to see what he's done with it and what Chase has been able to do with the opportunity that he's been given by Rusty Skews is awesome. I think it's great. Like, nothing better.
It definitely is.
All right, Jeff, we'll talk to you again real soon, man, and hopefully I'll get by and see you sometime in Charlotte.
Call me anytime.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
So I got a little surprise for you. In the mix of my phone going off over here, we had Keely from the car store hop on when Zach was on. And Keely would like to come on the show after you're back from vacation.
So we can do that. That's not a
So
problem.
it'd be kind of cool to get her on there. I mean, Jack's right-hand girl and cars tour.
Well, I've talked to her a couple of times down in, I talked to her most recently at Florence last year when we went down for the race at Florence.
She's doing a lot of incredible things. So.
All right. Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank Matt Carter, the two-time modified champion here at Langley Speedway. We don't know what's going on for next year, but when he tells us, we'll, look for number 3. See how fast I slid that in?
You slid in. Gotta watch my job. He's gonna come for it.
Anyway, all right, that's our show. No show next week. I won't be around next week. I'll be out in the water somewhere. So we'll talk to you again the following week. See you later. Turn us off, Scott.
I got you.